This is Cybert signing into DEFCON 6 in General's Evolution for a 3v3. On the top side of the map as the blue China nuke, this is coolme. Their ally to the right as the green USA Super Weapons General, this is EA. And the rounding out of this team as the brown vanilla GLA, building his wind forms. No, actually, he's Toxin. This is Xouth. And on the other side of the map, as the vanilla USA, we have Khay. And as the pink vanilla GLA, we got there eventually, this is Toaster. And rounding out this team as the orange USA Air Force General, this is AGX. Once again, we are back with some Generals Evo action, and we are going to get to see, hopefully, some very specific stuff coming out from our Air Force General. But then we also do have two just vanilla versions of the factions. So we do get to see a little bit of that. Some GLA Toxin as well on the other side of the map. And maybe even some combat Chinooks from our player AGX. Now this is General's Evolution, so it is not General's 0 Hour. It's not quite as fast and fluid. It's a bit more chunky, a bit slower moving, a bit more about the production. And, well, things are maybe starting off with some small groups of units. Just a Rock V from Khay as all good USA players building those Rock Vs. Quad cannons here from Xouth to try and push this back. And I guess the brown really fits in well with the GLA buildings there. Already, you know, they've got that tan color scheme going on, so the brown just blends right in rather than stands out. Kind of just makes them look neutral rather than colored. The cyan and the green, definitely a bit more of standout colors. Toxin tanks are here, leaving it looks like their toxin shell hits behind. Finally, the Humvee does go down, and you know, we expect this to be a bit of a grinder fest. A lot of units going down, and a lot of no man's land in between the players. First defenses coming on up. Gatling cannon from coolme and a Patriot EMP from EA. So Xouth is going to be pretty well defended. Who decides to take the middle of the map? Well, we do have a combat Chinook here and ready from AGX. Maybe he'll be able to start making some headway on the middle of the map. But we do have from coolme some very dangerous nuclear battle masters mixed with a good number of GATs as well. Xouth looking to potentially take the middle of the map. AGX circling through the middle. Going to be able to shut down that outpost very quickly. Armadillo was not quick enough to get out of the way of that one. And the radar van, I'm not sure. Oh, he was trying to hide in the back of his own base, considering that there is now a command center here for EA. He's going to be able to add on to the defenses of Xouth even easier there. Potentially even add on to Xouth's production. We'll see. Combat Chinook and a couple of Comanches, or I guess stealth Comanches as they are here. We got to see some inversion .21. We got to see some pretty powerful laser Comanche action. And now I guess we get to see the stealth Comanche action. Both of the oil derricks getting targeted down right from the get-go. A good choice there by AGX to try and shut down that additional economy, and also going to be shutting down the outpost as well, turning this supply center upside down and eliminating coolme's expansion. Overall, really solid harassment, and one of these combinations that's relatively new with the combat Chinook being a very agile unit and able to dodge in and out. That feels a lot like, you know, a couple of technicals swinging in from General's 0 Hour, or a couple of Rock Vs swinging in. Obviously, they don't fly, and that does complicate things But having those early powerful air units for the USA Air Force General definitely does change the way you think defensively. Gats are maybe not agile enough to respond to an attack force like that. Comanche's coming in once again. They're going to be able to quickly work through that one nuclear Battlemaster, and the second nuclear Battlemaster probably won't survive very long either. And I guess this whole outpost is about to get shut down. And coolme, again, a little bit too slow to respond. Even if he sends the Gats over there, by the time they cross all of this ground down there at the land, down there on the ground, they, they can't do anything. They're just too slow. And, I don't know, it feels a bit like, Air Force General just builds a lot of Humvees in regular 0 hour. And some people do things like, Chinooks and using the aircraft more, but it's more about those Humvees early on, and this is like all aircraft right from the beginning for AGX. So I do like the little bit of differentiation that we get to see here. Warthog's going to be able to catch a big chunk of those Gats, eliminate 4, maybe 5 Gats right out of the gate. At the same time, Xouth looking to hold off his own attacks as Warthogs strafe his base and look for a bit of damage. The combat Chinooks never actually really committed to that attack. The Gats just maybe a little bit too strong. A little bit of a surprise coming in here from Toaster, dropping some attacks on that nuclear reactor, but not really doing any damage. Rocket buggies are here, a little bit of a more traditional GLA composition. Couple of Scorps, some quad cannons, and some rocket buggies. As rocket buggies, if they're well controlled with that hit and run, can be super powerful. Avengers zapping away some of those missiles, but that is way too many rockets for those 2 Avengers to deal with by themselves. And they do actually properly zap away those missiles, and I believe ECM tanks also now deflect rockets the way that they would in Generals, or in 0 hour. Toaster with 3, 4, 5, 6. How many Scud launchers does this guy have? He has got quite a few, and he is just regular old GLA. He's not Toxin or Demo, so there's no upgrades to those. Rocket buggies from Xouth going to be coming through the middle of the map, trying to shut down Toaster's expansion, and he gets the Stinger sight for sure, but it looks like the Scorpion tanks are going to chase away the rest of these units. EA is here to try and push back this army, but this is a pretty small force. Khay and Toaster should be able to deal with Xouth and EA, as these guys all coming together. And actually, Xouth may be able to just sort of hit and run, take chunks out of the army from our team in the south. Meanwhile, Toaster and Khay have secured the middle of the map once again. They're going to try and push out EA, as EA has a couple of Paladins mixed in here. Just regular Crusaders and Scorpion tanks, but the numbers are much bigger for Toaster and Khay. AGX kind of running his own operation with his air forces. It looks like he's going to be able to take that supply, at least maybe for the current moment. Outpost on the high ground, keeping watch over that. 5 Scud launchers here in the middle of the map. And the Gats and the Nuclear Battlemaster is going to make short work of these defenses before they ever get established. Tomahawk is here, but they don't quite target down the Nuclear Battlemaster with the Tomahawk. AGX does want to eliminate those Nuclear Battlemasters if at all possible, because it starts a chain reaction inside of the attacking force. Patriot missiles are here. Nuclear Battlemasters surviving for the current moment. One more about to go nuclear as the army escapes away safely in time. Quad's getting some shots off against those Comanches, and I think these are just regular old Comanches. Kind of boring compared to the stealth and the laser Comanches that we've seen in other matches. Xouth holding his own, again focusing on this hit and run army against Khay's superior armored forces. The base defenses here from EA and coolme going to help Xouth hold that front line. Black markets and secondary economies starting to come online, but no super weapons just yet from this bunch. Mines getting dropped on the hill there, preventing anyone from really making their way up that hill. Tomahawks are here, but I think there's just too much GLA to really push forward past this front line. Even if you win, even if you make some losses here against the GLA army, you're not going to be able to push up the hill with so small a force. War Dogs coming in for a big strike. Those 810s finding their mark. And the mine's going to be dissuading some of those Scorps, but not enough of them. A little bit of, I think, green anthrax on the ground there as these Scud launchers line up for a second volley of missiles, impacting the nuclear battle masters on the high ground. They catch pretty much all of them, but the Scud launchers themselves fall to pieces as EA comes in for the defense, and AGX comes in for the offense. The reinforcements are here from both sides. AGX with his stealth Comanches to target down those Paladins one by one. The Avengers are also here from EA, and the Tomahawks are going to try and land their shots. The defense is holding them off for just a moment, but these Comanches might just be too much for EA to deal with. One Comanche down, but there's still 5, 6, 7 in the sky as all of the infantry get absolutely wasted, and Toaster shows up at the last second with some reinforcements. Toaster starting the party off with a big Scud launcher attack, but AGX coming in to save his bacon and stop EA from really pressing forward. Xouth coming in with a big volley of rockets there as Tomahawks from the high ground firing down onto the low ground. And Xouth does actually have a Scud launcher of his own. I'm curious to see if there's any difference with the Toxin General, the Scud launcher there, although we may not get to see. We'll see if he gets to fire off, and yes, he does manage to land at least one of these missiles. Scud launcher is here, 2 Tomahawks going down, and Xouth will once again hold his front line. His artillery finally online, and he's finally actually able to find some damage there. Scorpions getting targeted down, but those Gats take a long time to burn through even just a single Scorpion. coolme once again going to be able to defend himself, but maybe not on all fronts. Tomahawks clearing out those Gatling cannons, but it takes a good number of Tomahawks to actually take down a Gatling as the Scuds and the Tomahawks alike fall to the bombers of EA. EA with the long-range bombing run, managing to find some damage. Khay also with his bombing run defense against Xouth. Xouth making a bit of headway. His Scud launchers have survived, his rocket buggies have survived, and just enough quads to keep him alive, although he nearly kills his own quad with his Scud launcher as another Tomahawk spawns in and gets eliminated. Xouth needs to make headway. He needs to shut down the airfield, otherwise his army may just get picked apart as the Aurora bombers clean up unit after unit. One Scud launcher does still survive. Another Crusader spawns in and gets eliminated. Khay may be feeling a little bit worried as Xouth closes in. The damage isn't irreparable yet, but on the north side of the map, oh my gosh, the air forces of AGX have just been going absolutely crazy, ravaging the base of coolme, and coolme falling apart. EA unable to provide any real defense there. Q gonna back off, aka Xouth, down there in the bottom side of the map. Microwave tanks are also here. A relatively recent addition by EA to his army. More supply drop zones coming in from EA. coolme is all but out of the game. He may have been able to sneak out. Okay, so we got a war factory, and he did manage to sneak out a command center into the back of the base, but I'm not sure how much economy he actually has, how much of an army he'll actually be able to macro up. AGX feels like he is in control of this game with those fast-moving air units, and now with 2 particle cannons as well. Toaster trying to make his mark, but he's just getting cleaned up by the base defenses and air forces of EA. AGX with his massive air armada comes forward. The units of EA getting split by the terrain of the map, and it looks like the Comanches and the Chinooks going to be able to take down the entire ground army of EA. Not even the aircraft of EA can stand against all of that air firepower. The one-click starting to come in from all sides, and this one rocket buggy has actually managed to survive. EA getting distracted by the forces of AGX and trying to help Xouth in his assault of Khay. Xouth still managing to hold on to most of his base. I think the Anthrax bomb landing there on top of the barracks and on top of the war factory as well. Only 10 seconds left on one of the particle cannons, and now 10 seconds on the other one. Tomahawks and aircraft joining forces, and I think they're going to try and break Xouth. Let's see if they can do it. Rocket buggies coming in for Toaster. Carpet bombing coming in as a fuel air bomb as well on top of Xouth's base, and absolutely everything converges on one moment. Xouth's ground forces fall to pieces as the air forces of AGX reign supreme. No particle cannon necessary. At the last moment, Khay coming in with a couple of bunker busters to try and seal the deal, but it's maybe not quite enough. Particle cannons not fired off just yet. Xouth extremely weak as his entire production was halted. He may still have a war factory somewhere, but no, he literally does not have a war factory. So Xouth is out of it in terms of production. He might have a barracks somewhere, but he is pretty well roasted and toasted at this point, and the particle cannons haven't even fired off. AGX might be saving the particle cannons either defensively or waiting for someone to build a super weapon so that he can just instantly delete it. I think 2 particle cannons would be enough. You might need to combo that with something else. Toaster trying to sneak into the back of Xouth's base, trying to either shut down the oil derricks or shut down those black markets. Not quite going to work out there, but AGX trying to make more headway. Khay as well as AGX, the Tomahawks on the ground, the carpet bombs from the sky, the carpet bombing from the sky as the black market gets targeted there, and the command center of Xouth falls. The air forces of AGX just absolutely wreaking havoc upon everyone in their path. Even the Avengers unable to take down those air forces fast enough, and the couple of units that are remaining here from Khay are just barely enough to keep up the damage. Oh, then here's the Mammoth Tank, another new addition to the USA arsenal is the Mammoth Tank. So we get to see that here. AGX, again, all about that dodging in and out as Xouth has been defeated. The Mammoth Tank does go down, and the Chinooks giving chase. The combat Chinooks with their heroic rocket troopers inside of them. coolme has also left the game. It's all down to EA, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it. 3 particle cannons now out on the field, 2 of them counted down and ready to go as the surprise conscript Molotov cocktails. Obviously, they're rebels, but they do look a lot like a conscript from Red Alert 3. And I think EA is going to have to throw in the towel on this one. Carpet bombing not quite landing there. About half of the bombs do drop. And, well, an internet center is going to get targeted. I think EA is just here to kind of see this one out. It's not really producing very much. He knows that it's mostly over. I think he's just going to go out with the spectacle and see how much he can take down. Another mammoth tank lining up. Man, those fuel air bomb upgrades are just absolutely insane from the Alpha Auroras. Those super weapons are powerful. Although it looks like it doesn't actually clean up the Tomahawks. I think the Tomahawks got saved by either a glitch or by the Aurora going down or something. EA's still in this game, being assaulted from multiple sides. AGX hasn't got his particle cannons involved, which is maybe the only thing that hasn't yet happened in this game. Warthog's coming through to try and clear up those mammoth tanks, and AGX shows up in the south. Maybe enough of the base defenses have gone down that he's willing to put some damage out. Chinook's coming in from K, but just for a moment, as the mammoth tank makes the rounds on the high ground and gets eliminated. EA trying desperately to hold off this army, but even if he holds it off for a moment, I don't know that he'll really be able to press to move forward in any way. And he still has not dealt with this rebel surprise as it targets down power plant after power plant. The rebel surprise is going to be able to potentially burn down another power plant as another fuel air bomb comes in. Maybe it doesn't actually land, but the low power mode as power plant after power plant has gone down. AGX maybe beaconing that. And he's like, hey, if you take down the base defenses, I can come in with my air forces. A couple of Gatling tanks are here, a couple of rocket squads as well, but it's not enough. This many Comanches, this many combat Chinooks, and it is just power overwhelming from our Air Force General as AGX leads his team to victory. Toaster and Kay both had their part to play. Oh, the Gatlings on the left side actually getting a lot of damage, but it's still not enough. Comanche after Comanche falls from the sky, raining down upon the base of EA. War Factory after airfield getting targeted down. Kay is here with his mammoth tanks dealing with the low power mode base defenses, and AGX continues to rain down fire from the skies. Still, the particle cannons not even coming in to be used here, as the Tomahawks from the low ground target down a building power plant, and there's the double particle cannon. Triple particle cannon ripping through the command center, and AGX leading this team to victory. EA will drop from the game unless he's got some kind of insane comeback strategy. And 3 particle cannons all at once. That's definitely pretty cool to see. And if nothing else, this is a mod of spectacle. And that is exactly what we are getting to see here today, is pure spectacle. That will do it as the fire sale comes in. EA clears out his buildings with the help of AGX. And it looks like one internet center in the corner is maybe what he forgot. We saw him selling some stuff off. And that will do it. Thank you all very much for watching. What a chaotic match. But that one was a little more momentum-based. Once the ball started rolling, it really didn't stop. And actually, EA really leading in the resources tab, but I thought Xouth was going to be able to break K earlier on in that game. Xouth really looked like he was going to be able to break K. They were next-door neighbors, but it just wasn't quite meant to be. And that will do it for this game. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Cyber, signing out.